Executive resumes, C-level resumes, have their own brand of mistakes that people make. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm a career and leadership coach. And let me talk with you about a couple of the mistakes I see people making much too often that I don't want to say it dooms your candidacy, but it lessens you in people's eyes and thus hurts you in the process. So even if you get the interview, there's this little nagging doubt that people have about you. So the first mistake I see is that people use unreadably small fonts so that number two, they get a one-page resume. These are linked together. So unreadably small fonts and one-page resumes. Go for a two-page resume. Have the fonts of your resume large enough so that they're easily readable. 12 point is really ideal. If you have to go to 14, go ahead. But I think 12 is a certain size that for a resume works well. Number three is they insert an image on the resume, which makes any sort of tracking system cough. I know the desire is to make something look good, but if the system can't handle it, you have a problem. And thus it parses badly and it impacts whether or not you're interviewed. Number four is the two-column resume. Two-column resumes don't work. And I know there could be some very nice visuals with a two-column, but systems don't like them. People like them, and thus if you're working directly to someone, by all means, two-column is great. Same with images. However, if they tell you, could you send it through the system too, you have to strip this stuff out. Next, not tailoring the resume to the particular role. And the easiest way to do this is by, at the top of the page, you have the title of the role you're competing for. So, for example, if it's a chief financial officer, you'd have that term perhaps set aside by lines toward the top of the page, or not set aside by lines, but you do the chief financial officer title along the top of the resume. Thus, if you're going to submit it to a tracking system, it recognizes the term and sees you as being viable for that role. Using objective statements. Why would you possibly use an objective statement? Seriously. All these do is allow people to see that you have a throwaway line there or something disqualifying about yourself. There's nothing positive that comes from it. Last thing, forgetting to have quantifiable achievements. When I first started in recruiting, we didn't know about stuff like this. So everything was responsible for. And, okay, you're responsible for Department of 14, charged with, and that was fine, but what did you get done? And we didn't know that back in the Stone Ages. And eventually we learned that this was a way to differentiate people because, for example, a project with two people was different than a project with 20 people, 200 people, or 2,000 people. A role that had a budget of $20,000 was different than one with $2 million, $200 million, or $1 billion. So having a sense of quantifiable achievements, giving people a sense of how large these projects were or how much revenue your department went through, these all give people an idea of what you've accomplished. Hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you visit my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. In the blog, there'll be a lot there to help you. Plus, you can schedule time for a free discovery call, schedule time for coaching, find out about my books and guides, courses. There's a lot there that can help you. And if this isn't the right time for you to do it, put the address in your phone. Again, thebiggamehunter.us, my name, Jeff Altman. And lastly, in the notes field, put job search blog. That way you'll be able to find me in the future. Lastly, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Have a terrific day, and most importantly, be great. Take care.